me. I knew he was calling me to do, and I just had to decide. And making that decision was the first step. But that came with, I love what Dr. Cloud says when he says, character is about the ability to meet the demands of reality. We compartmentalize, we tell ourselves all these stories that we want to hear about how we can make things work out the way we want to. We hear the pieces that we want to hear. We throw away the stuff that's too hard, just so we can keep moving forward. And sometimes God just has to stop us and force us to take a hard look at our lives and who we really are. And will we meet the demands of not what we want our life to look like, but what it really looks like? And are we going to stop and hear what he has to say to us? And that's really the story for me, is what are the action steps that I have to take, not just the intentions of who I want to be and keep rolling through, but to stop and take a real hard look at what it is I need to actually be doing to make a difference.
Matt, it reminds me of another group in a song, Casting Crowns song, Broken Together.
I love
listening
that
to you, I got this thing going in my mind right now and thinking, okay, here's a couple who made a decision to hold on and fight through it. Before we talk about what you're doing now, which is pretty exciting, I want to talk about, how it's going with Sarah and with the kids.
Yeah, Sarah is trying to get me out of the house a little more now, actually. I'm around so
Hey, go fishing, go sing somewhere, go do
She's
something.
like, oh, great, go on, go do it, go do it all.
It's something when you start feeling safe and connected again, it creates freedom.
Man, you could not have just said that better. And it's so simple that it is so true that when you really take the time to understand and listen, like especially with our wives, just the need to be understood and heard and come close to me and hear me, validate me, just hear my heart. When you create that space to be known and for your wife to be known, you're absolutely right. There's that safety in the relationship where you're not clinching on to everything and choking the dear life out of everything you're coveting because you don't have it. And then it's like, there's that freedom there. And that is where we're at now. We're just experiencing this freedom in our relationship to be known and know each other and enjoy, to breathe and love. And it's there. It's the margin that we needed. And so, of course, we still have our fights. Of course, we, like everybody else, and as you know, we still have our difficulties. But man, because of the hard decisions we made to put each other first, we're experiencing the benefits of family.
What a beautiful gift to us all.
Absolutely.
You know that? And it's a great message. Again, the new book is called Lead Me, Finding Courage to Fight for Your Marriage, Children, and Faith. It's by Matt Hammett. Matt is the former frontman for the band Sanctus Rio. An amazing story of hope, really, to me. And Matt, let's talk a little bit about what you're doing now. You've teamed up with a good friend of all of ours, Kirk Cameron, and some others. And what's God doing?
So when I left, I didn't know what to do. I was like, okay, Lord, I'm still writing music and doing a little music, but I wanted to leave my hands open. And in that season, because I feel like when you're trying to promote this thing like a band, you're pushing so hard to try to open doors and opportunity, and I just decided I was going to let God do all that. And it was really neat because he showed up. I got a call from Bob Lepine at Family Life, asked me to be part of the Family Life conferences,
marriage and
speaker team.
Nice.
So I do that 4 times a year. And then Kirk Cameron called and he said, hey man, I'm doing this marriage and parenting event, Living Room Reset. I'd love for you to join me, share your testimony, do a little song singing.
Many times about that.
So we're excited about that, being part of that. It's my 3rd year going out with Kirk. And then, of course, this is my first book, which I've been working on for a long time. I've got a lot more in me. So I'm excited to kind of start writing more. And then I'm just speaking at men's and marriage conferences, throughout the country. And so it's a really exciting season. One other thing I'm going to mention that's really exciting is we just finished the final edits on a feature-length documentary that we did as a family called Bowen's Heart, about what it's like to be a family that lives with chronic illness. Can you give your heart to something that will break it over and over again? By God's grace, we've been able to, but that's what the grace we need, and we're just trying to steward our story and use it to help other people.
And that's the story of your son, Bo.
Right? That is, yeah. But you see the story of that we just talked about too. You see that at play throughout a year of our lives of how do we work through these hard things as a family. We just want people to know they're not alone.
The book again, Lead Me, Finding Courage to Fight for Your Marriage, Children, and Faith. It really comes out of this song as we close today, entitled Lead Me by Sanctus Real. Matt, it's been great having you here, and may God continue to lead, bless you, your family, and by the way, that ministry.
Thank you.
You're touching lives.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. As we close the show today, I want you to know that I'm so grateful you listened to this interview, and I pray you were touched and that God blesses you and your family. If you're having a difficult time in your marriage, you're not alone. You can reach out to the folks at Dr. James Dowson's Family Talk by calling 877-732-6825. Someone there would be happy to pray with you and point you in the right direction and get you the help you need. I look around and see my wonderful life, almost perfect from the outside. In picture frames, I see my beautiful wife, always smiling, but on the
It's making a direct strike on Baja, California, and then it's going to move right on up the western coast and maybe even get somewhat inland and into that dry desert. They're going to have, pockets of high water. They're going to have flooding of the arroyos, all those things. But they could use the rain. They haven't had that rain for a long time, so I'm sure they're going to try to make the most of it.
So none of it's going to come this way.
It could, it won't, but it could. We have seen storms actually cross northern Mexico and get into Texas from the southwest and drop heavy rains even up here. And I think one time we had some 70-mile-per-hour winds from one of those storms. So we're more likely really to get a direct strike from a Pacific hurricane here than from a Gulf hurricane, because they normally loosen up a little bit before they get here.
Speaking of the winds, I know you were worried about high fire danger this weekend. What are the winds going to look like?
They're going to be variable tomorrow and Sunday, 10 to 20 miles per hour, but they're out there, especially in the late afternoon. We're going to see some wind, 10 to 20. And then southwest, I think, on Monday, which really scared me because those are drier winds. So those could, either Sunday or Monday could be big grass fire and wildfire days.
All right, we'll keep watching it with you throughout the weekend and into next week. Thanks, Brad.
Yeah, we're still looking at like 109, 110 through the weekend.
All right, Brad Barton, meteorologist for KLIF and our sister station WBAP at 6:55. Let's get an update on traffic on the 5s. Here is Julie Doherty.
All shut down in Grand Prairie. This is a wreck on 161 southbound between Oakdale and Lower Terrace, and you're back to Statesville. Also a wreck in Fort Worth, 35W northbound Northeast 28. You're backed up all the way to Allen through the downtown area. 75 northbound at Legacy. HOV lanes blocked for you in Plano. You're back to Park Boulevard. West Cliff right now, traffic on the 5s. I'm Julie Hardy.
Gail Walmsley, national radio host, self-made multi-millionaire, national award-winning investor, CEO and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited. Dell's Map to Financial Freedom Show. Hear it live weeknights at 7 p.m. on 570 KLIF and 96.3 FM HD2.
When I was little, I didn't talk for a long time. I liked things to always be the same. Anything new or different would scare and upset me. I was very sensitive to lights and sounds. It was almost like I had bigger eyes and ears than everyone else. So I built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. I didn't like looking people in the eye. It made me feel uncomfortable. I'd throw big tantrums over little things, like when my socks didn't match. Sometimes I'd do the same things over and over. Until one day, I found out I had autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I learned how to live with it better.
You can see signs of autism in children as young as 18 months. Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council. Better Life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
Are avocados really healthy? I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, CNN's chief medical correspondent. I'm not a big believer in superfoods because you should be eating so many different kinds of healthy food, all the colors of the rainbow. That's the point. But I will say avocados are pretty high up on the list of foods that are good for your health. The reason is that they're packed with monounsaturated fat, which nutritionist Lisa Dreher say work to lower your LDL or bad cholesterol without affecting your HDL or good cholesterol. Avocados are a great source of potassium, which helps regulate nerve function and also move nutrients into cells while taking away waste, according to the U.S. National Library of Medicine. Potassium can also help lower your blood pressure, according to the American Heart Association, and avocados are high in fiber, meaning this fruit can keep you satisfied or satiated longer. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
At Napa, we keep things moving. If it has wheels and an engine, we help keep it on the road. And if it's on the road, we have parts for it. And if you need a part, you can get it fast, like same-day pickup or next-day delivery fast. At Napa, when we're not thinking about cars, we're thinking about the people who drive them. Because when it comes to serving you and our community, our motor never quits. That's Napa know-how. Same-day pickup and next-day delivery available for participating stores and on in-stock items only.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month. But you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Sponsored by Age of Learning.
Major key alert! Life is like school. You will be tested, so pass it. Learn the real major keys to getting to college at GetSchool.com. Brought to you by Get Schools and the Ad Council. If you're a single man under the age of 35, you'd probably like to know what the ladies are looking for on an online dating site. A guy who'd had a few drinks and later got pulled over for buzz driving. See, that could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And doesn't a guy who's back living with his parents but calls them my roommates just scream Mr. Right? Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Coming up in the 7 o'clock hour, a water main has broken in Fort Worth, causing flooding everywhere. They're trying to fix that. We'll have the very latest there. Plus, they're going to have a memorial service for that Frisco teen who was tragically killed on the first day of school. We'll have details on that as well. It's 7 o'clock.
Sean Hannity here. My new home, weekdays at 4, is 570 KLIF AM, Dallas, KSCS FM, HD2, Fort Worth, a Cumulus media station. Controversy in the Hawaii disaster response. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The Maui Emergency Management Chief has resigned as of yesterday evening, stating health reasons of all things. Fox Weather's Robert Ray in Maui, where it's still 111 dead, and crews keep searching the wildfire ashes around Lahaina for hundreds still unaccounted for. There'll be more fallout as this continues, as residents are looking for answers as to what happened, how it started, and why alarms didn't go off, and why their town of 12,000 people is literally gone. The now ex-emergency management leader Herman Andaya defended not sounding the warning siren, saying they're for tsunamis and would have sent people inland toward the fires. Hurricane Hillary is big now, a Category 4 churning toward Mexico. On track to be a weaker tropical storm when it hits Southern California and moves on up early next week. And Fox meteorologist Adam Klotz worries about flooding. It is already picking up a whole lot of rain, a whole lot of moisture with it, and that is going to be what really causes the problems. This is ultimately running all the way up into the Pacific Northwest by Tuesday morning, winds down to 30 miles an hour. Former President Trump wants to push back his federal trial in the 2020 election indictment to April 2026, telling Fox Business is Kudlow. They want to suppress your voice. They don't want you to ever talk about an election. If you talk about an election, they want to put you in jail. He's canceled a Monday news conference the former president had said would exonerate him in the Georgia election indictment, claiming to have proof of fraud. Instead, Trump lawyers want that included in legal filings. Federal prosecutors want members of the Proud Boys convicted over the Capitol riot to get 20 to 33 years in prison at sentencing later this month, calling them terrorists. The manhunt's over in Houston, Texas for the accused gunman who critically wounded a sheriff's deputy Wednesday. But when they found Taryn Green, as they began to make entry into the home, they were greeted by gunfire. Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, 2 marshals, and another deputy were injured before they arrested Green. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. When a restaurant closes, my reaction is, that sucks. They had good steak. When regional banks close, or 3 of them close overnight, it freaks me out. This is why I have my own personal gold reserve. It's part of my personal protection plan. Call my friends at Oxford Gold Group. Call 833-404-GOLD. 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
There are more identity threats than you realize. Even if you monitor your credit, only a little personal info needs to leak out, like your social security number or password.
Are you any kind of a victim?
LifeLock alerts you to threats you could miss. If your identity is stolen, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year with promo code NEWS. Go to LifeLock.com. Sponsored by Goldco. Do you think your retirement savings can weather another financial storm? Don't risk losing your money from our country's economic gridlock. Goldco has helped thousands protect their money with gold and silver. Call 855-707-GOLD to find out how you can get up to $10,000 in free silver today.
From the 570 KLIF News Desk, this is DFW's Morning News with Dave Williams and Amy Shadrach.
Good Friday morning at 7:03, days off. I'm Amy Shadrach. We broke a record yesterday, set back in 1951 of 107. Yesterday's high, 109, going to be dangerously hot for the weekend, and into next week we'll have the full forecast coming up on DFW's Morning News. Will ERCOT issue another voluntary conservation notice today because of the heat? As Texas baked near record temperatures Thursday, state grid operators issued a voluntary conservation notice. ERCOT asked residents to reduce electricity usage between 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. amid concerns that energy reserves could dip due to high demand and low wind generation. And with temps expected to reach 110 degrees today, another conservation notice could be issued later on. Kim Lampkins, KLIF News. Massive break in a water main line Thursday morning sent water gushing through the streets of downtown Fort Worth on the southwest side. Some officials are calling it one of the city's largest water main breaks ever. Flooding at Cook Children's Medical Center Child Study Center forced the cancellation of classes for the day. Water officials say the extreme heat and increased water usage has caused a surge of water line breaks.
Water is powerful, and especially when it's coming out of a main break on a large size line.
That is Mary Uzi with Fort Worth Water Department, who expects crews to work through the night to get the line repaired. Coming up on DFW's Morning News, a suspected cop killer is finally in custody after he allegedly shot more deputies and held a 5-hour standoff. We'll have the crazy story coming up, but first right now, traffic on the 5705. Here's Julie DeHardy.
All shut down in Grand Prairie.
Can't wait to see for your family how that goes.
So, David, being a young father and not having, really a lot of people that I can turn to for help, to kind of form, who had formative, relationships with their families and stuff like that. I got to ask you, does it get easier? No.
Dang. I hate to say that, but Rudy, though, we're as the men, as the spiritual leaders of the family, as the providers for the family. What would you expect, though, right?
Yeah, I know.
We got to be there for our wives, and then as you start having kids, and you got to double up and say, okay, I got to be there for my wife and my family, my kids.
Yeah, it just reminds me, we're not made for comfort.
No. No, and that's why I think, for Catholic men, that's why it's so important. 2 things: pray, and ask for guidance, and also find that band of brothers. I remember working in the oil and gas industry. Let me share this story with you. So, working in the oil and gas industry for over 30 years, it took a toll in terms of family life, relationships, and it took me a while to figure that out. And I was nearing towards the end before I moved to Guadalupe Radio Network, and I decided one day to bring a crucifix to work. And that was going to be something that I wanted to talk about the rest of this segment. I brought a crucifix
And I have it here with me. This is the same crucifix. That's the one. And what I did is, working downtown in these little offices that we had, I placed it on my laptop. It's a black surfaced laptop.